Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Illusions of Itehari, continuing Tabari's route, and we're going out to lunch. We're on a lunch date. Oh my god. Right, I kind of forgot. Look, I haven't played this in a couple days. I've been really bad at recording this week, and I think for the last 2 days I haven't recorded this one because I was doing my other game, and then I'd be like, I just don't feel like playing anymore. My mojo's dead this week. It's not because I'm not enjoying our games. My mojo's just dead this week. I'm not doing good. But anyway, Tabari took me to a room at a high-end ryote in the entertainment district. How hungry are you, milady? Oh, you meant for food. Never mind. I haven't had lunch yet either, so I'm actually pretty hungry. Anything you can't eat? Nope, no allergies, and I'm not very picky. I remember there was plenty I didn't like when I was little, but Aoyuki tried everything he could for me to overcome that. Looking back, it must have been a great deal of work for him. Everything Aoyuki has to deal with you is a great deal of work, let's be honest. You like eel? Your innuendos. My mind should not be a... You know what? This is why you come here. We're having a great time with my things like... I love eel! Is this... You like eel? Oh, I love eel. It's not how this conversation is going, but... Oh, Jesus, I am not okay. I needed this. I needed to drop the hinges. I really did. It's not that I've been trying to be hinged, but, work is very stressful, and I don't want to do it anymore. It's just been what the fuck, and I just can't, and I'm like, oh my god. So, it's gonna be far more unhinged than normal. It's pretty good when you have an dashi over rice. Is that okay for a noble woman? If it's improper or unrefined at all, then... Not at all. I love dashi over rice. Then we'll have 2 portions of that. Understood. That's 2 portions of eel with dashi over rice. We'll bring it out to you, all right? We'll bring it out to you right away. I feel like I'm not doing his voice right, but I can't. Anyway. I helped out at this ryote as a kid, so I have some sway here. There's no one else here at this time, so you don't have to worry about anyone listening in on us. Thank you, Tabari. Feeling appreciative of how Tabari set up an environment where I could speak without reservations, I began to broach the topic I wanted to discuss with him. First off, I wanted to thank you for all you did the night of the fire. I really appreciate you helping everyone in my surf quarter. Sure. Tabari gave me an awkward nod before looking away. I just wanted to express my gratitude, even if it didn't matter much. I don't remember doing anything worth thanking me for, but I'll accept it since you've gone out of your way. Also, that wasn't the only thing I wanted to talk to him about. If anything, this was what I really wanted to discuss with him. Ugh. I swear to God, sometimes the commas in this look like periods, and maybe it's just me. I can't see them. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. I wanted to apologize to you, Tabari. I squeezed my tightened fist on my lap and stared straight into his eyes. Well, it's true that there are a bunch of things you could apologize to me about. Why now? And for what? That day when you took me to the Shiranui hideout, I said that you'd be punished if you did bad things, right? What the Shiranui's doing still isn't good. You're breaking Itehari laws. But you had your reasons. And I regret judging you despite not understanding your circumstances. I didn't have to know him for long to see that he placed great importance on the rules of the entertainment district. Despite that, he was doing the opposite with Itehari's. It was unlikely he didn't know what it meant to break the law, or the consequences that would follow. I tried to think for myself what I could do to help the people of the entertainment district in the Abyss, but I couldn't come up with anything. You all must have figured out there was no other way, but still, I had said something that trampled over their earnest efforts to live the way they wished. I wanted to apologize earlier, but I just couldn't bring myself to. I'm really, truly sorry. I bowed as I offered my heartfelt apology. Tabari remained quiet for a while before letting out an exasperated sigh. You know, you're a tad too honest for a noblewoman, don't you think? Huh? Your beliefs stray far from that of the typical noble. Well, I guess walking around all on your own is already weird in and of itself. He was right. It was unusual for a member of the nobility to be seen strolling through town. I mean, like, what the fuck? Okay, part of me is like, what the fuck? What are you supposed to do? Just stay inside all the time? Actually, that sounds nice. Wait. So if I'm rich, I can just stay inside my house and I don't ever have to leave and talk to people? Well, shit, I was meant to be rich, man. I wouldn't be as much of a douchebag as most rich people, but I'd absolutely be like, wait. So what you're saying is if I'm rich, I have to stay inside my house and not talk to people? Oh, no, that must be so difficult. I don't think I could ever. Yeah, sign me up. I wouldn't have to work. We could just play games all day, read books. Maybe have a house that has like a little outdoor space or something, or like a screen porch or something. You know? I don't know if the bird would like that. He doesn't like the sun. But like if it had a cover or whatever, you know? I can't really open my windows here. Like even my front windows, because then it's like if you're watching TV or you're talking, like the windows aren't very soundproof to begin with, but then you're like, if you're trying to watch TV or whatever, then people are walking by talking. I suppose when I'm reading, but like I read at night. I don't know, my window's open at night, people peeping in it, looking at me, because like my house is like 2 feet from the sidewalk. So it's like, hi, I've made eye contact by accident when you look out the window and someone's looking in and you're like, this is weird. Weird. I'm sure it was accident. They weren't peeping in my window, but it still makes it. They're probably like, great. They think I'm peeping in their window, and I'm like, what a weirdo peeping in my window. Or they think I was eyeballing them because they're walking around outside. You know what I mean? Like it's just awkward and weird. So like, no, the house needs to be further away from the street. But anyway, if any errands needed to be done, they'd send a servant to do them, and going out without an attendant was extremely uncommon. I've never seen a noble bowing their head to a commoner in my entire life. Tabari's confusion was completely justified. However, I do as I please. I do what I want. I go out whenever I want, and when I've done anything wrong, I want to apologize. I was expecting him to get all fed up again, but instead he returned my gaze earnestly. I'm sorry. Huh? Why are you apologizing? I spoke of my own assumptions about nobles just now, didn't I? I'm bound by prejudice, too. Even though that's the very thing I'm trying to undo. But you still took me seriously. He had no obligation to share the entertainment district's situation with me. Despite that, he didn't hide anything or ignore my request to learn. So that makes you kind, clever, and just a really cool person overall. I was just sharing my honest feelings, but it was still kind of embarrassing to do so. I felt my cheeks heat up. Yeah, 'cause you missed handsome. You're ridiculously sexy, and I mean, kind and clever and hot, and I mean, cool. Yeah, and also hot. Lady, you really shouldn't be so trusting of some lowly commoner you just met. And I know what I said is true. Tabari openly scowled at me. He doesn't like it when people compliment him. You don't know how to take a compliment, do you, cinnamon bun? It's that face again. The one that gets you all hot and bothered? Yeah, I get it. At first, I was a little afraid that he was upset whenever he made that expression, but now I knew that wasn't quite it. It seemed more like astonishment, with a hint of concern mixed in, too. I long for Itehari to be a place where not a single person has to suffer, regardless of their status in society. Which is really funny, because that's what they keep marketing Itehari as. It's like a place where no one suffers. Everyone is awesome here. Yeah, but you still have a hierarchy, and you treat people that are commoners like garbage, and so it's really not great unless you're rich. That's the way it is on the surface. The only thing is there's, like, probably less crime, because the second anybody blinks wrong, you chuck them into labor camps in the abyss. So, like, in anything that seems a little more horrifying, you know? Like, I'm not saying crime is great, but, like, you know, the fact that you were like, I'm okay, oh my god, don't look at that person the wrong way. Oh my god, I bumped into a noble, shit. And then you get fucking spirited away. That's a little more psychotic than having to deal with like, oh no, someone stole my purse. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want anyone to steal my purse, but I I feel like you'd be a little less terrified walking the streets just thinking, hey, there is a possibility someone could pickpocket me. Yeah, there's a possibility someone could pickpocket you in any day that you go out, right? Wherever you are. Someone could pickpocket you, especially if you're in a big crowd. Okay? You know that. That's just, okay. But you're not terrified of that. You're not like, oh my god, someone could pickpocket me! You should be wary of it and like, okay, make sure my wallet ain't in my back pocket and I don't have a sign that says, carrying $100! You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know? But, like, you aren't walking around like, oh god, jumping at shadows because that shadow could be a noble, and if you offend them, you're going to get spirited away. And that's kind of how this society is. So, like, oh, Itehari is a place where, like, no one has to worry and everyone's I mean, unless you're not a noble, then you should fucking worry. You should have nightmares, bitches. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, it's funny because she's like, I want everyone in Itehari to be happy. Yeah, that's what they keep marketing this motherfucker as, though. They lying. Like, liars. This damn cult. Is this a social experiment? Is that where we're going to find out? Like, other games we played where there's, like, weird bubbles and they're just, like, experiments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, is this going to be an experiment? We're going to find out we're a social experiment. And, like, you know, Yashiro's going to be like, oh, there's a bunch of Itaharis all around. We pop in every once in a while to check on you and be like, what's going on? Because you guys live in a weird bubble. We're testing all these different things out. Like, we're just social experiment bubbles and we don't know about it. You know what I mean? That'd become fucked up shit. I'm here for that. So, I think it'd be great if everyone could be free to pursue their desires, right? I channeled my hope into words, and Tobari's expression loosened as he gave me a wry smile. A place where everyone would be free to pursue their desires, huh? Like, I could pursue you because I desire you. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We should kiss. A society where, like you, people will apologize when they've done something wrong and can go anywhere they please. Exactly. I nodded vigorously, delighted to hear Tobari repeating my words. Oh, but there are still things I haven't been able to do myself. Like what? For one, I really want to go to the outside world. I responded excitedly, but when I realized what I had done, I covered my mouth with both hands before I could finish my sentence. I longed to see the world outside of Itehari. I wanted to explore a city on the surface. The difference in other games that we've played where there's kind of sort of like we're a social experiment. This is like, we know there's an outside world. So, like, you know, usually you'd be like, what do you mean there's an outside? What do you mean? What? Spoiler. Not for games, but for movies. But if you haven't seen the movie, like, what the fuck? It's like 100 years old. But isn't that what, like, The Village is about? Is that the one? It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, right? Right? Isn't that it? Like, where it's like, they're like all like in this little village, but like they think it's like that's all there is, but it's like, nope, you just in a bubble kind of thing or whatever, isn't it? Was that it? Am I like missing two movies? I don't know, but whatever. But you know what I mean? You're like, yeah, this is our way of life. There's nothing out. Oh my god, what is this? You know what I mean? But we wouldn't know about the surface, but we know. So like, but we have to get food and stuff from the surface. So you couldn't be like, shh, they're a social experiment, but they don't know how they get stuff. Magic! It comes from the magic tree! But I mean, you know, so it's like, it could still be a social experiment. Because we're not allowed to leave. So it's a little weird. There's definitely something weird going on. We don't know what it is, but I don't think they've been trying to hide that this place is motherfucking weird, so fair enough. It had been a dream of mine ever since I was a child, but it was a secret that I couldn't share with anyone. I hadn't even told Suyakusa or even Lady Aoi, and yet I was so happy we were seeing eye to eye that I just blurted it out. Well, I kind of forgot about Lady Aoi. She only showed up in Aoyuki's route. I mean, this is only the second route, so fair enough, but... Milady... Tabari was about to say something when... Excuse me! Thankfully, a voice rang out from the other side of the door. Please come in! Here are your appetizers. Wow, that looks amazing! We whet our appetite with pickles trimmed into the shape of flowers and tofu made of golden sesame topped with ginger. Oh, Tabari didn't ask me any questions after that. I happily enjoyed our meal, grateful for his considerate silence. That was delicious. So how much was it? Don't worry about it. What? Not only did he take care of the gratuity, but he also paid for the entire meal in gold coins. I knew it couldn't have been cheap. I stood there conflicted, which Tabari noticed immediately. If it bothers you that much, then you can treat me next time. I will. He's like, you can take me out. We're like, okay. And he's like, what? Don't take it to heart. I'm not interested in having women pay for me. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, so you're... I mean, wait. I wasn't going to pay for dinner. I was going to pay for your services. But if you're not interested in getting paid, are we going to do this for free then? Or wait. I mean, you paid for lunch, so I have to put out now, right? Oh, gosh, darn, no. Tabari's like, what? I wouldn't expect that. Damn it! Of all the men, you're going to be the one that doesn't expect that? And this is the one time I would have? Wow. Jesus. You just can't win as a woman, can you? Wait, but in that case, do me a favor. If you ever hold a banquet at your estate, promise me you'll hire Suzune. She's talented for her age. I'm sure she'll liven up your party. Sure, I was planning on doing that anyway, even if you hadn't asked. But hold on, that's not really making it up to you, is it? Tabari looked at me calmly and slowly began to speak. Come to think of it, forgot to tell you. I really appreciate you for helping Suzune out. As I struggled to find the words to respond, we were interrupted by an unexpected guest. She's like, you appreciate me? Can we kiss now? Oh, it's probably Yuri. Because that's kind of like a greenish color. It's not exactly as blue as Yashiro. Hey, Tabari. Looks like I finally found you. Tabari's expression immediately hardened. Yeah, he would be happy to see Yashiro, or he'd be like nonchalant about it. He wasted no effort in hiding his distrust as he gave an annoyed look at the person who cut into our conversation. Yuri just always has to make everything impossible. This bitch. You know what? He shows up and I'm like, this motherfucker. And I want to be mad about it, but I have the biggest smile on my face every time this asshole shows up. Look, I love this dumpster fire so goddamn much. I can't even. Every time he shows up, it's going to be like I'm telling you for the first time. I can't help it. I can't help. He shows up and I'm like, God, I hate him. With the smile of joy on my face, it's an evil joy because I just want to step on him so bad. Oh my God. You know, I didn't think this would be the highlight of my day, seeing this bitch. I didn't, but here we are. I'm like, oh my God, the amount of joy I feel. I feel so good right now. Like, listen, there are times this game doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, if I think about it, like, the menfolk are pretty. And it's not bad, but it's not the best. You know what I mean? Like, there are times, like, when we're playing it, I think I'm having a great time. You know? But when you stop and take a step back and you think about it, sometimes she can be a little irritating. She's not the best. She's not the worst. But she's not the best. And I think it's also hard because playing this right now in conjunction with Mistonia's Hope, and that game is like a 27 out of 10. That game is so fucking amazing. It is, holy shit, that game is amazing. I don't have any of the words for it. It's great. I feel like if we were playing a different game in tandem with this, this would not feel like, oh, okay. Like sometimes when I go to record, I'm like, oh, I almost feel disappointed I'm going to play this game, which is just so not fair to it because it's not bad. There are other games we have played that's been like, it's kind of a slog to get through, and you know what I mean? This isn't that. We have a great time when we're playing it, and like the conversations flow smoothly, things are happening. I feel like the world is a little bullshit, and sometimes their logic doesn't make motherfucking sense to me. But that could just be part of the world building where you're like, this doesn't make sense. And they're like, I know, right? And that could be the whole plot. That could be the whole purpose. They're not supposed to make sense. Like with the whole hierarchy of like, well, you do like, so the Kurozuru are the cops, but they have to do what I say because I outranked the cop that showed up at my app. I mean, I guess standardly, yes, if I were a rich bitch and a cop showed up, I'd be like, no, you're not arresting my husband. He's a rich white man. And then they would go away because, you know, rich white men can do whatever they want. Gestures to the world around us, you know? So, I mean, I guess fair enough, as much as you sit here and go, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Actually, it makes perfect illogical fucking sense. It should not. We should literally be like, it doesn't make sense. It's how the world works, but it doesn't make any motherfucking sense. But when they put it out for you in this game, you're like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense. But when you realize this is how the world operates, actually, you're like, oh, I guess it does. But it doesn't. It shouldn't. It should never make sense. We should know. But like, it's fucking weird. But so there are times where you're like, I don't you know what, whatever. So, and who knows, maybe when we get to the end in the truth route, it's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. That's why this shit doesn't make sense. Okay, nothing makes sense here. And yeah, because this is definitely a fucking cult. Okay, this is like a cult over here. But still, you know, but when Yori shows up, all the joy in the world is just mine. Like, my God, I love to hate him. You know he's absolutely also gonna melt like a fucking marshmallow. I don't think we've ever had a dumpster fire marshmallow. Have you ever had a dumpster mellow? That's what he is. You're like, oh, found a marshmallow at the bottom of the dumpster. It's not, the crusty stuff on there is not because you put it in a fire and it's literally trash stuck to it. But you know what? Or like a marshmallow that fell to the bottom of your bag and you don't know what the fuck is stuck to it. Like lint and like, you know, crumbs of things and some dirt and dust. But you're like, and you just blow on it and eat it anyway. No, I have never fucking done that. I'm not a really big fan of marshmallows, to be fair. Unless they're the characters in our games. But you know what I mean? That Yori is the dumpster fire marshmallow. Like, you don't know what the fuck is stuck to him, but you're still somehow like just hungry enough to eat it anyway. And you're like, not ashamed. Like that marshmallow that fell on the floor and you're like, 5-second rule. You're like, been in a dumpster for a forever rule. Hold on, is the music janky? A little bit. Guys, I swear. We might just have to deal if the music gets janky. I'm not gonna lie. I might just have to fucking suffer through it. Because you can probably not hear it, because when I go to, like, put it through Premiere, it's just all of a sudden turns all the music off. But if I crank the music up a little bit louder, then it would just be me and the music fighting, and it wouldn't, like, you're never gonna win. I'm never gonna win with this. But I have also, before I started the recording about 10 times because the music would be a little janky, and then I'd stop it, and then I'd go again, and then it would get janky. And I did this, and I was like, it's finally okay. So I knew it wasn't going to stay perfect because my capture software, the recording software, is acting like it's reading the capture card through my webcam. Because you have to let it access your webcam in order to be able to use my capture card, because it acts like my webcam is a USB. It's not. It's built in. It's not a USB. But in order to be able to use my USB ports where my capture card is plugged in, I have to let it access my webcam. And every once in a while, when you click on the USB, like the actual capture card, it turns on my webcam light like it's trying to access my webcam. It's not a USB. And right now it's set up like, and then it's the reverse. It's like you reading the capture card, but the input is the webcam. It doesn't make any sense. This thing is so fucking stupid, but I'm very lazy about just downloading OBS and just trying to get everything set up and just using that for this. Okay? Because like, I honestly keep forgetting to, and I just went a bit, and then I don't think about it when I have free time because I just don't want to. So I know I need to, and like, you know, in like a year maybe we'll be like, hey, look, we finally did it, and I should have done it years ago. I know, but like, and then like because when it does that, sometimes the input for the audio, the one that I know when I click it, I'm like, this one will work and it sounds nice all the time. It has no sound. So I have to, this is the only one that will bring sound, and I know it's the one that always gets janky. Because when you go in the sound things, the sound capture, there's about 5 different ones for the capture card, and it's like, that's bullshit because they're not all, but like half of them don't work. But the one that usually does won't work when it's reversed and doing its stupid shit, so. But it's the one that we have problems with. If I can choose one of the other ones, it's generally fine, and they never have. So yeah, I don't know. But this is just the day we're having. It's Friday the 13th right now, so you know what? This is the best we're gonna do, alright? We're gonna have to fucking suck it up. But anyway, so yeah, Yuri is just the highlight of my life. Like, he shows up, and I'm just like, God, I want to punch him and kiss him, and then punch him again. Like, I do. I really do. My dumpster fire and my marshmallow, because you know Tobari is the actual marshmallow, because he's all gruff and crusty on the outside, but he's gonna melt like butter on the inside. My analogies don't make sense, but you know what? Shut up. It's perfect. You really need to learn your place. There's no need to glare at me like that. His place is in the entertainment district, and you have to obey him here, right? According to the stupid hierarchy? I'm okay with the stupid hierarchy right now. I just want Tobari to put you in your place. Are you sure you want to take that attitude with me? Especially after I've come all this way to chat about something that can only benefit you. We'll see about that. Oh, but it definitely works out nicely for me that you two were already together. Because this involves you as well, milady. Me? Yes, you. Are you going to try to marry me again? Because this is... Let's take this conversation elsewhere. After all, if this were to spread, you two would be in dire straits. I love how Yuri just has to threaten everyone. God, he's such a cunt. Once he'd finished what he needed to say, he walked off without waiting for our response. Can we just kill him? No one would be any wiser. Seriously, Tobari, can we just stab him? Tobari and I exchanged a look before following him. There were fires in several places yesterday, all within the same hour. They were mainly in the 4th Division with 6 cases, and one in the northern part of the 3rd Division. I recognized one of the locations Lord Yuri mentioned in the 4th Division. That house belongs to the people who asked Hangetsuda to look for their cat. What was the scale of the fires? The houses the fires originated from were completely burned down, and their residents barely escaped with their lives. Or so I've heard. It's funny because, okay, you're setting it up to look like Tobari is taking vengeance on people who spoke rudely about him, but we know damn well he didn't. We know damn well Yuri probably did it. Yuri got Ugetsu to fucking light people on fire without so much as being like, you should burn people. He's like, if only people had to pay for, like, not believing in the Great Taiju with, like, bursting into flames or something. I mean, I don't know, whatever, something like that. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, now you know he got someone to light fucking houses on fire. And he's trying to blame it on Tobari so he can take Tobari out. Man, I don't know if Yuri just hates everyone, yes, or is just really trying to cockblock us. Also, probably yes. You know, I just want to boop him on his little nose right now and be like, boop, and be like, it's kind of cute how jealous you are of my other boyfriends, but you're gonna have to get along in the man harem, okay? Because seriously, I don't tolerate that shit. Do not make me take you out back and whip you, unless you like it. Then we can do that for your birthday. Or Tuesday. No hinges. Okay. And these incidents are quite different from the smaller fires that have been occurring until now. The scale of the damage is quite large.
We don't want to stir up the public's anxiety, so we're regulating when information gets publicized. But we can't stop the people from talking. I'm sure word will spread within the next few days.
After giving us the details as if he were discussing the weather, Lord Yuri gave an exaggerated shrug.
Oh, woe is me. You two may not know this, but the fires that have been popping up all over the city in succession were intentionally done by a group of hooligans called the Shiranui. It's such a busy time, with Lantern Festival preparations being well underway, that we're even falling behind in our cases of spiriting away. Who would have thought they'd do something so drastic?
Are you sure you should be telling us something so important?
What do you think, milady?
Lord Yuri laughed as if I had said something ridiculous and continued without waiting for an answer.
Even after repeatedly creating small fires, the people illusioned by peace didn't even bat an eye.
Oh my god, the music is janky again. I wish I didn't keep noticing it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to just turn the music off in my headset so I can't notice and just be like, if it's janky, it's janky. I know my voice and everything will be fine. It's just really irritating. Anyway.
Fires do occasionally happen by accident, so it's to be expected. They think it's thanks to the divine protection of the Lord Taiju that no one's died from them. I bet the Shiranui wanted to evoke discontent among them by tapping into this line of thinking. But they've grown tired of waiting for results and resorted to making a big show of their mutinous ideologies. Or something along those lines.
You're trying to get a rise out of Tobari because Tobari's like, fuck you, no we're not. So the Kurozuru believes that these large fires are also the Shiranui's doing. Tobari didn't say a word. He kept silent, observing Lord Yuri's mannerisms while also perhaps gauging my reactions too. You know, Tobari's like, I'm not that stupid to be like, fuck you! I clearly remember them saying that they took measures to make sure innocent people wouldn't be involved in their activities. Which means, I thought to myself, Tobari wouldn't do that. Something happened. I mean, what does she mean by something happened? Like something happened to change the way Tobari and the Shiranui are acting? Because I don't agree with that. I agree with Tobari wouldn't do that. The only reason I would say something happened is something else is going on. Like, something happened and somebody is trying to make the Shiranui look bad and blame it on them. Because that's what I think Yuri's doing, absolutely. But I feel like the answer is probably Tobari wouldn't do that, because if it's Tobari wouldn't do that or something happened to change how Tobari is doing, where it's a negative to Tobari. You know what I mean? So I would say then Tobari wouldn't do that. Oh, I guess we already did the first choice. I was like, I would only see chapter 3 and I'm like, insist on knowing. We already made that choice. Okay. Yes, Tobari wouldn't do that. Tobari wouldn't do that. That's a fascinating theory. And how's that supposed to be a benefit to me? Tobari calmly feigned ignorance. Lord Yuri simply smiled as if he were enjoying himself.
Don't play dumb with me. I'm not your run-of-the-mill incompetent fool. You're the leader of the Shiranui, aren't you? Not only that, but it looks like you and Miss Spacey over there had a little rendezvous the night that fire broke out in the surf quarter of the Eastern Fifth, We also have several testimonies stating that the leader of the entertainment district was seen there. They also state you were looking for him after the fires were out.
I'd be like, that's because Tobari helped put the fires out and helped get me to safety. He was helping me.
To top it all off, you were seen at one of the houses that fell victim to the fires, along with your friends from Hangitsudo. Suyakusa and Yashiro, I believe. There are rumors going around that they've been in contact with the Shiranui too.
He's really looked into this. My face unconsciously grew stiff as he stared at me, still smiling.
So, it looks like all the dots are starting to connect, don't you think?
I feel like the whole thing you'd be like, you're making weird assumptions. Tobari was there that night because he helped me. He pulled me out of the way of the fire when there was an explosion, and then he went to help put out the fires in my surf quarter. And yeah, Suyakusa and Yashiro were there because they're my friends, and they were helping. what the fuck? Just because you don't have friends? This is how friends operate, Yuri. I know you don't have any, so it'd be very difficult for you to comprehend this, but you should try checking with people who have them and find out that this is what they do. They help you out. You're saying the Kurozuru believe that Suyakusa, Yashiro, and I are part of the Shiranui, and that we all started these fires. Is that the conclusion you've arrived at? Correct. He narrowed his eyes and nodded, satisfied by my response. I would just laugh in his face and be like, why the fuck would I set fire to my own surf quarter when I'm the one that has to pay for the repairs, you dumb fuck?
All things considered, you're all at a disadvantage. A terrible one at that.
Can we just kill... I would look at Tobari and be like, can we just kill him? Like, no one's gonna notice. I mean, like, he's full of shit, but, like, he seems like a problem, so can we just... you know, take him out? If I really were the culprit, I wouldn't touch my surf quarter.
There's a chance you would to avoid suspicion.
I'd never do that. And she ain't lying. If you start with a conclusion in mind, you can come up with a million reasons to support it after the fact. Tobari spoke irritably, making Lord Yuri grin.
Anyway, here's what I really wanted to discuss with you. Personally, I don't think your little group had anything to do with it.
Huh? I couldn't contain my confusion when Lord Yuri suddenly backtracked his accusation. Yeah, because he has something to do with it.
Everything's connected so neatly that it's actually unnatural.
Are you trying to tell me that Yuri doesn't have anything to do with this? And he's just trying to get the most out of it? I mean, he ain't wrong that... Well, I mean, we're not really part of the Shiranui, but, like, we're friends with Tobari, so, like, guilty by association, sure. But, like... And he's like, I don't think you're the one setting the big fires. Everyone's saying the Shiranui and I was going to send you up the river, but I'm going to make this work to my advantage. But, like, would you be... He's not really... Oh, I mean, no, I guess... You know, you really didn't... Like, Yuri wasn't really like, oh, ha, 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 yeah, you set the fires and everyone's going to think it's you. Ha, 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 ha. You know, or, like... He was like, oh, Aoyuki lit those people on fire. Like, he was taking advantage of the situation, even though he was involved, but he wasn't like, oh, really? Oh, gosh, people are burning. He didn't really kind of almost let in that he didn't really let on that he was the one that planted the idea in Ugetsu's mind. You didn't really get that. It was the, you're using this to your advantage type of a thing. So, I mean, I guess it could still go both ways. I'm still not convinced that he's not somehow involved to be able to go, okay, wait. So the Shiranui's starting fires, and we know that Tobari's the leader, I'm pretty fucking sure. And he's seeing Miss Spacey and like whatever. But the thing is, he wanted to marry me just to piss off Aoyuki. And like, he's got no reason to do that now. Unless, well, wait, you're seen around Tobari, and I hate Tobari, so... You know what I mean? But like, damn, Yuri is jealous! It's so weird for someone who doesn't really like me yet, you know? Well, anyway, he's definitely going to use it to his advantage, whether he started the ball rolling by conning someone into starting the bigger fires or what, but...
Not only did the true culprit probably look into your activities, they're trying to frame you, too.
Which sounds like something you would do, to be fair.
Though this is intel that only a few of us within the Korozuru are privy to.
I understand. Lord Yuri had suddenly lowered his voice, and I found myself doing the same.
The same device was found at all locations the fires took place yesterday. Apparently it ignites at a specific time and has a clock built into it.
So a bomb? A clock? In Itehari, clocks were a rare, high-class item. How were they able to find the money for that? It's really weird that clocks are rare, high-class items. You know, actually not. I mean, yes, it's very fucking weird, because you're like, well, you can't get a motherfucking watch? You can't have watches and then a watch repair dude? Like, that's something that we can't have? We just guess what time it is? But that kind of also ties into the, why the fuck is like a bell hour? What's 2 hours in modern time? Why? Why is your time stupid? What is the purpose of that? But clocks are rare, so maybe that ties into why time is stupid here. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's actually like a bigger plot point than are you doing world building and you're just like, and there 1 hour is actually two. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why? Who cares? Just making the world weird. Like, you're just throwing things in for no fucking reason. Like, maybe there actually is a fucking reason. And that ties into why we don't have fucking, like, clocks are rare. And only rich people have them. But also, it seems very bizarre because if you know it's an hour later, how do you know it's an hour later? You know what I mean? You ever been sitting there and you've been like, what has it been like an hour? And you look and you're like, it's been 2 minutes. Oh dear God. Or you're like, I don't know, it's been like 5 minutes. Holy shit, it's 3 hours later. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have no concept of fucking like depending on what you're doing. So how the fuck does anybody here have a concept of time if they literally have nothing to gauge it against to be ever? You know what I mean? Like that's so weird. It's so weird. But I mean, that adds to the world building of this world being fucking so weird. So, all right, fine. Anyway, while noble families lived more than comfortably, they didn't have an endless supply of money. Also, where were you getting all the watches? If watches are rare here, you'd have to be still. You're like, I have a watch, but I don't have 15 to be putting them on bombs. So where'd you get all these? Supply from the outside. They were required to declare any profits they made from their respective districts and pay them to the Ryue.
They must have some special connections to someone. Clocks aren't readily available, after all.
So they gotta be getting them from the outside. Yashiro looks sus as fuck now. Yashiro could be literally like, actually, I came in here to blow everything up and I'm gonna destroy everything. And I'd be like, yeah, I didn't see that coming because you seem like such a little like labradoodle. So like, damn, okay. But he is the only one from the outside, so.
Incidentally, it seems that the fuel that was vaporized to create the sparks in the device was actually. Oh. I'm sorry, is this too difficult for you to follow? Would you like me to use simpler terms?
I know how much you enjoy your lectures. Go on, we're listening.
Anyway, the fuel the devices used was gas.
Gas? Well, the average resident of Itehari seldom thinks about such things. Flammable vapors like gas are a far more pervasive threat to those living in the abyss. Well, because they're under, yeah. Gas? That's what used for our street lamps, right? And when it makes contact with fire, it causes an explosion. Yeah, gas stove. Okay. And that makes sense if you have gas here, okay, your gas lanterns and everything, then like that's why it would be dangerous for the people in the abyss because they underground. Like here, if there's a gas leak, it's going out into the environment. If you're in a gas leak in a contained environment, like your house or whatever, oh, you're gonna die. But I didn't have the slightest idea as to how one would even gain access to it. Tabari sighed as he answered the question in my mind. See, so we're not smart enough to do this. You turn on all the gas nozzles in the house and then you rig the thing to then the lighter and then it blows. I've watched too many movies. It's not because I blow up houses. But you know what I mean? Like she's like, how do you get access to it? I mean, they might not have gas in the houses, but I see. So that's why you made me sit through your torturous monologue.
Exactly. You would know, Tomari, of a place where one could find such precious gas.
And if I'm remembering correctly, it may even have some clocks lying around too. What? Ignoring my surprised outburst, Lord Yuri continued merrily.
Considering all the circumstantial evidence surrounding your group, the Kurozura will have no choice but to look into you. But if some capable people were to, say, uncover the culprit or even find evidence tracing back to them, I wouldn't have to waste my time on a pointless investigation, now would I?
A slightly mischievous grin formed on his face as he continued. He's like, do the work for me.
If word gets out that you did have a hand in the fires, my lady, that may just be enough to ruin your family, wouldn't it?
That would be bad. Very bad. Is Yuri just manipulating us to do his job for him? Because, fair enough, it's the least evil thing he's done so far. I understand. That was the only option if I wanted to protect my friends and family. So all we need to do is find the real mastermind or any big clues that could lead to them? That's right. Because, like, in Aoyuki's, we decided to find the culprit. I mean, I don't think he was like, you need to help me. It was like, oh, you could. Did he? Did he direct us to? Maybe actually kind of did he? Well, because he was blaming Aoyuki, and he's like, well, I mean, unless you can find me someone else, you know. But that's. But it's always interesting if he's like, you should just find out who really did it then, and he's the one involved. Why would you set it? You Are you stupid, sir? My God, you were the worst villain ever. Like, such a dumpster fire. Anyway, let's see. Ah, yes, I'll give you 3 days. I'll be sure to delay our investigation in the meantime. 3 days. Wow, that's lovely of you. Bastard. After Lord Yuri left, Tobari went to share the news with Suyakusa and Yashiro. As for me, I returned home and decided I couldn't keep this under wraps any longer. I explained to Aoyuki everything that happened. Of course, I prepared myself for an intense lecture, but surprisingly, he responded with, "Fuck Yuri, he's a dumpster fire." I've heard enough. I'll save the lecture for later. I decided not to think too much about the inevitable. Later that night, we used the cover of darkness to convene at the Shiranoi's hideout. After going over everything Lord Yuri told us, Tobari muttered apologetically. Sorry for dragging you guys into this. Well, I guess we could say you're reaping what you sowed after sticking your nose in our business, but... I guess that's true. It is true, though. It wouldn't hurt to show a little more remorse here, you know. There's absolutely no reason for him to be apologizing. There's no proof you weren't involved in those fires after all. Shioji, I don't know if I trust you. Did you do this? Did Yuri come to you and be like, you could help? You're like, but I mean, like, don't you think Shioji would be like, wait, Yuri told me to do it. Fuck. Or right now he'd be like covering his ass, but I don't know if it would be Shioji. I mean, it would make sense because I feel like he'd be easy to manipulate for Yuri to be like, do it for your cause. Right? But I feel like if Tobari's like, look, we're all going to go down for this, blah, 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 then he would be like, well, wait. Yuri's the one who said to do this for the cause and whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's too easy as a pawn. But we don't have anybody else that we've kind of run into, like Ugetsu, in this route where you're like, wait, there's a dude with the spread. What do you mean? Like, where they kind of showed you who it was. So Shioji's the only one aside from Suzune, and I can't believe Suzune would do this. You know what I mean? So he's the only other character with a sprite. So, you know. So, anyway. Excuse me? Despite my outburst, from the Shiranoi's perspective, there definitely wasn't any guarantee that we weren't behind it all. So why are you placing such blind trust in them, Tobari? The lady didn't do it. That much I know for sure. Tobari made his thoughts clear to Shioji with a bitter expression. He believes in me. He believes in me. That's what she's doing on the inside, I know it. Of course she didn't. There's no reason for Spacey to commit arson and nothing for her to gain by doing so. I'm not interested in committing arson one bit either. Don't know if I could say the same for Yashiro, though. Suyakusa! But you know, Yashiro teamed up with you guys. I imagine you've at least established some degree of trust. Shioji narrowed his eyes as he reflected on Suyakusa's statement. After a few moments, he dropped his shoulders apologetically. I'm sorry. I just said that on impulse. I'm on edge since it seems like we're being unjustly framed.
Hold on, buddy. I know you're getting fidgety. You gotta go potties. Give me a minute, okay? Let's get up. Hold on, peoples. We gotta give the birdie a potty break. He's getting fidgety and he's holding his poopy butt down.
It's so funny that I know his fucking mannerisms by now. He gets a little fidgety, but then he also he kind of sit on you and he kind of puts his butt down like, oh God, I'm trying to hold it.
You go potties. Here you go. Good boy. I thought, you're capable of flying over here on your own, right? You're capable of flying over here and sitting here and go potties on your own. I am not your personal poopy Uber. I'm not a poober, okay? I'm not your poober. Your pooey Uber. Your poop Uber? I'm not your poo Uber. That's why it's a poober. A poober. I'm not your personal poober. I'm not. You have wings and a couple of brain cells. Every once in a while, they're all firing, and it's like, damn, you smart. And other times it's like, God damn, you stupid. I know. Everybody needs a break from brain cells once in a while. I do too. But you could fly over there on your own. You could. And I can't even pick you up and go fly over there because then you'll just circle around, fly back, and take a shit on me. Or land on one of my pillows and poop on one of my plushies. And if you poop on Malleus or Azul or Sebastian or any of them, I'm going to be mad at you. You pooped on my fucking Shuya pillow once, and I swear to God, you're lucky you have feathers left. I didn't beat you. I didn't, but I was like, no, bad bird, you're a bad boy. You got yelled at. I'm not yelling at you right now, though. No, because you're a good boy right now. You're such a good birdie. For the most part. Sometimes you're a big fat asshole, though. But anyway.
It may be hard for you to believe, but these fires, we in the Sharana, we weren't behind it. Of course you weren't. I knew you wouldn't do such a thing. Oh, that's from, and we just got affection with him. That's from when we said, Tabari wouldn't do that. So I'm assuming, it changes if you were thinking something must have happened. You think that, and then here you get like, oh, well, I wasn't sure. And you say something here that, whatever. I agreed with him immediately, and Tabari simply scowled in return. He's like, I don't like that you're so hot right now. Are you being a little too trusting? No, I don't think so. I know we just got to know each other, but I can still tell as much. Besides, you're beautiful, and I don't care if she's a little jerk. Like, no, I'll trust you. You're hot. 'Cause same, girl. I think you're being a little too naive, my lady. Just what do you... Oh. Could it be you're attracted to scoundrels? Do read dark romance, so yeah. Sometimes. And, also... Well, I guess scoundrels. Sure, I guess. Would you consider Yuri a scoundrel? Do scoundrel and dumpster fire have an overlap? Because I feel like yes. I feel like you could call him a scoundrel. A little bit. I feel like he's past that, but he definitely includes some scoundrel. You know what I mean? It's like exponential. Like, you're a scoundrel, and then you add on to that, and eventually you become a dumpster fire, but there was scoundrel inside of a dumpster fire. You know what I mean? Like, Tabari might be a scoundrel, but he's not a dumpster fire. But every dumpster fire has a little bit of scoundrel in them, You know? So, fair enough, yeah. I'm not. Put a lot of thought into this, and... I'm kidding. Thanks for believing in me. I walked right into that. As frustrating as it was, I couldn't say anything after seeing him smoothly take it back and flash me a smile, and now I'm gonna be all hot and bothered because you're smiling at me. Why is my heart pounding? The conversation continued, despite my heart leaping in my chest. Besides, we never risk planning something like this. Fire isn't something you can really control. Even when you plan things to the tiniest detail, it can still act unpredictably. And you're telling me this was caused by some devices that went off at the same time? Whoever did this definitely planned for it to cause a lot of damage. Sure came at a bad time. It was right after you guys learned about us. We were planning to lie low for a while. There's no reason for us to needlessly cross any dangerous bridges, right? Tabari nodded at Shioji's statement and let out a small sigh. For better or worse, I think I know a place that might have clues that'll lead us to the culprit. I plan to look into it right away. I'm coming with you. Well, we go into the abyss again. How are you and why is that? They're both talking at the same time, so. They're in perfect sync. I was a little surprised to see their reaction, but quickly pulled myself together to explain. The Kurozuru believe I'm involved in this too. And Suyakusa and Yashiro got dragged into this because I brought them into the entertainment district, right? Still, there's no need for you to do anything. Aoyuki, no. I can't just have other people take care of this for me. I want to prove everyone's innocence. This affects all of Itehari, too. There was a chance that these fires would happen again. I couldn't just stand by and wait for another disaster to occur. Well, neither of us have any proof that we're innocent, right? Why don't we team up and look for the culprit together? We're bound to be more successful that way, and we'll be able to keep tabs on each other, too. Even if we do that... Tobari, I don't think it's a bad idea. Let's accept their help. Tobari didn't seem entirely convinced, but Yashiro went ahead and jumped right into the next plans. Anyway, where exactly are we going? Where's this place that might have the clues we need? Well... Dun dun dun! We descended a spiral staircase enveloped in darkness for what seemed like an eternity. We came upon a heavy door at the bottom, which we opened to reveal... Damn, that door. A world I had never seen before, spreading out before us. The abyss! Dim lighting illuminated the streets, making the area feel somewhat forlorn and stagnant. So this is the abyss. I never would have thought it'd be so easy to come here. Tobari had told us so before, but it was still surprising to experience it firsthand. It is also weird because it's like, this is basically where you chuck people who did bad things, and then their family and descendants live here forever. But like, you know what I mean? So you just have doors in and out that nobody watches? What's stopping people from just like popping up and being like, I live here now? You know what I mean? And there aren't many people who can come and go, so it'll probably isn't worth the energy to monitor. Okay, I guess that answers that. By the way, Itehari's power unit is located below the Ryue. I didn't know that. I had always known Tsuyakusi to be knowledgeable, and the information he shared reminded me of that fact. I stared at him with admiration. Probably made him embarrassed as he awkwardly redirected his gaze away from me. And right below that is the camp where the sinners are doing manual labor. I see. Say, milady, you have a different air about you than usual today. Oh, you noticed? Considering that we were heading to the abyss, I dressed myself in more comfortable clothing and avoided my usual fancy attire. How did we know we were going to the abyss? It was like under cover of darkness, we went to go talk, and then he's like, I know where we're going. And it's like, where are we going? And then we're here. Now we're in the abyss. Well, considering we were going to the abyss, I decided to dress appropriately, but you didn't know you were going to the abyss at all. What? That makes no sense. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, like, Aoyuki and I, under the cover of darkness, snuck into the entertainment district for this clandestine meeting or whatever that we're all having. So she dressed a little more casual, you know, in case we gotta run. But you didn't know you were going to the abyss until literally, like, you got here. So you wouldn't have prepared to dress for the... Sus as fuck. She's sus as fuck right now. No, it's just bad writing, but... Is it strange? Do I look out of place? Not at all. You look cute. Really cute. I mean, you look good no matter what you wear. And this is how we build a man harem. Really? I'm so relieved that I don't look weird. Tabari sighed loudly upon hearing our exchange. She's like, can y'all stop flirting? If you're just gonna stand around making small talk, then I'm going on without you. Just go home if you're gonna act like Taurus. I'll handle this on my own. Huh? Isn't your attitude overkill? It's the fact that Spacey's cute, so what's wrong with talking about it? This is fucking ridiculous. That's what you're mad about? Not to mention that it's the Shiranui's fault that we've been accused of something we didn't do. You still have the gall to... Hold on. I hastily stepped in between the two as they glared at one another. Tobari, we agreed to work together on this, remember? So we can keep an eye on each other. And so, Yakuza, it's my fault we got involved with the Shiranui in the first place, so stop blaming Tobari for it. He was the one who started it. Ha! Forgive me for not wanting to play tour guide for a bunch of outsiders, treating this like a vacation. Come on, let's settle down, everyone.
This isn't the time to be fighting, is it?
Excuse me? Who do you think you're talking to? Seriously, who died and made you king, Yashiro? Huh? How am I the bad guy here? Enough! Stop fighting already! I was beginning to regret leaving Aoyuki and Shioji behind as they were tending to matters back in town. You two really need to get it together. I was being pretty reasonable, so I don't think it's right to take your anger out on me. Hey, isn't he a freeloader at your place? Rein him in. The Shiranui teamed up with him because you thought he'd be useful. Too bad you guys have a terrible eye for these things. I never thought things would get so tense. They're fighting because they first started talking about how cute I am. Just descended into madness. I'm not sure where we are. I think we're roughly at time because I had to stop like twice to fix the like sound. So like if it's a little under, sorry, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up here. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.